Yeah, it gives you an option. It gives you an option if it's like scheduled to be later. Because I don't know why it was scheduled for 7:55. I didn't do that, but I guess it did it itself. So that's why I was asking, "Well, you sure you want to go live?" Like, yeah, I wouldn't click it for no other reason.
Well, my statement on Will Harris is that I am not using him in the setup role for a while. Because I lost to the Marlins because this bitch couldn't get one out in the bottom of the eighth. Just one out. I needed one out.
Well, I mean, I saw that clip of you showing the ball going through the bat again. Like, my thing was, I'm like, why? I'm like really debating. Like, once I get a PS4 Pro, when I get my Pro back, should I buy the game? And I'm like, every time I see stuff like that, I'm like, yeah. And then on top of that, the home runs are just glitched to hell. So I'm like, I can't see how you do it. I can't see how you having fun with the game, honestly.
Well, the main thing is that it hasn't, as far as that home run magnet type situation. Honestly, it hasn't. If it happens, I'm dropping the game. If it happens in one of my games, I'm dropping the game.
But I really don't think it's going to happen because I think it's an online thing. I really think it's.
And that's what I believe too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because MLB The Show, their online is still terrible.
I'm like, if you're playing a certain online, if it's playing a certain mode, it seems like that's more prevalent than it is in a regular just base mode, like either franchise or play now. It shouldn't happen as much. But that ball through the bat is happening through every one of those modes.
Right. But this is what we've been saying about Madden for the longest. All them crazy wonky clips you see on Twitter when the game first come out, guess what they're doing? They're playing online.
And that's why, like, when you see those people that are recording off the screen and you don't see the top, I put those to the side, but like, nah, you're not showing the top left part of the screen for a reason.
Well, when you do see the top left, or when you do see the top of the screen,
exactly.
You see these funky Madden Ultimate Team names for the teams, like,
and you see comp mode.
Well, I think the funniest thing is the people who use that and block out what mode they're playing in to bash the game. This game is shit. Look at this play right here. It's like, all right, what mode are you playing?
And then kind of find out they're playing online. Like, yeah, what do you expect? Like, you're dealing with something that. And I'm not trying to cape for the devs. You're basically asking for it when you have something that has nothing to do with developing the game, taking over the game itself. It's like
I just broke out a 20-yard scrimmage with Peyton Manning, yo.
You're playing online, aren't you?
Yeah, okay. If I can still play online on 2K5, I'll be beating some niggas' asses right
Nah,
now.
let's chill. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Got a couple people in the chat already. What's going on?
Young Noble said the bats got.
Oh, Noble's here.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, they got other stuff over there in damn Wuhan, China.
Wow.
Wuha. I'm like Busta Rhymes. Wuha.
Right.
Wuha trying to.
This is episode 132 of the First and Framerates podcast. We did a little bit of ad-libbing. I mean, we've been sitting here for like the past 10 minutes just dicking around anyway. Last of Us 2 delayed. Indefinitely,
and people lose as a result. I'm here.
Yeah, they're acting like
first world problems.
Right, they're acting like they got COVID-19 because of that shit delayed.
Got like 200 games to play, but crying.
I have a theory about it too.
Right. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is banned in Russia. I mean, if you guys don't know why, then
Chantel with a pick.
Yeah, what the hell you been doing if you don't think that? You don't know why it's banned in Russia. And also,
here's my thing real quick on that. It's funny how IGN and everybody else is choosing to literally just post that one fucking mission.
That is true. And one of them chose not to shoot at the people. But I'm just like, just shoot.
I probably wouldn't have
Everyone shot all those people when they played the game.
Initially, when I played the game, I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So I probably
wouldn't. NBA
Shoot,
2K,
I shot all them people.
Also, NBA.
That was the point of the mission. Shoot them.
Also, NBA 2K20 is having this stupid ass tournament with these NBA players. I think it's trash. I think it's whack.
I haven't bothered to watch.
Why even bother? I mean,
Especially when 2K is calling people dicks and whatnot because they're hard to deal with.
No, I understand what they're trying to do, and it's for a good cause. But the gameplay in the tournament itself is going to be super trash.
Bro, you don't know, some of them might be able to ball, yo.
No,
not virtually.
Once you realize you understand how the game mechanics play, them dudes. You have to be on that game for a while, and they may have because if
LeBron's in that tournament, everybody that said that LeBron plays say he plays Sim. So if there's anybody I can trust to play right, it would be him.
Well, shoot, his photographic memory, he'll be able to remember all the goddamn controls. He'll remember everything.
This is gonna make it interesting. You think they're gonna do that, and then you see them like jacking up shots and missing layups and don't know how to run the plays, and then you be like, what the hell are we doing?
Now that would piss me off. How the fuck you not? That's, you know what?
I'm telling you.
That's another reason to watch, because think about this. If you're playing with your team and you don't know the plays, that's going to throw the fuck out of
this is why I think it's going to be trash.
Nah, I will be highly just for that. That's going to be entertainment.
I'll be highly surprised if these guys know their teams to a T. I'm telling you, it's going to be some wackiness, and it's going to be fun to watch. But as far as the actual tournament being compelling, no.
Well, you know James Harden ain't gonna know the plays, because any set plays they have just go straight to a.
Oh no! He's gonna know the plays.
He's not gonna know the defensive plays.
Yeah, as soon as he gets the ball and go half court, he's jacking up the shots.
Yeah, James Harden gonna get smoked, yo. He gonna come out and not know how to defend. How do you get in defensive position?
So what the hell is soft hedge?
Don't worry about it, James. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
His setting would be like no defense.
What button is ISO? That's all he needs to know.
Right, exactly. Bishop said Boogie's not representing the Lakers in the tournament. All right.
Shoot, apparently on the roster thing, they got him in the free agent. They got him as a free agent.
That makes it. See that right there. That makes it even more crazy. Like, he's in the free agent, but he's representing the Lakers. What the hell?
Well, because technically he's still a part of the Lakers, but he's not going to play. So they've said he's not going to play for the rest of the season, but he's still using the facility to rehab. That's the only reason why he's representing the Lakers. Then again, my thing is, I'm trying to think of who would even be a gamer on the Lakers.
Nobody. Listen, none of these dudes are gamers. That's why it's going to be trash. I'm telling you.
Their only gamer probably died in that helicopter crash.
A lot of them play.
A lot of them play. This how to get you. You think they do?
I'm telling you, a lot of them play 2K.
Right. Watch when that tip off start. You see how much they play.
Yeah, we get that ball fall right back to the ground. Wait a minute, how you jump again?
I'm telling you.
Nah, these dudes are gamers, yo. The ones in the tournament.
You know what? You're probably right. They are gamers. I bet some of these dudes are kick ass in Fortnite.
They'll probably switch the controls to the wow. They'll probably change the controls to like NBA Live controls.
Now, to be fair, I don't think if I was an NBA player that I would want to play virtual basketball.
Exactly. That's another reason.
But it doesn't mean that a lot of them don't, though. I mean, Devin Booker, you know those dudes are gamers, bro. They play that game.
Bill's over here hyping up to make y'all set up to watch that shit and start laughing. Because, like, the shit ain't going to be what you think it is. Like, you might, I put it like this. You may have one or two that do okay, and that's going to be enough to win the tournament. But even their gameplay is not going to be like on some like boss level like they're
I said it's one of two things. Either it's going to be a train wreck because you're going to see that dudes don't know the plays on their own team, which is going to be entertainment value right there.
Right.
Or they're going to surprise you and they're going to be good.
I think it's going to be maybe one or two that's going to be good. And they're going to be the ones that's actually going to actually win the tournament, but the bar is set low. Their quote unquote good is going to be like your average 2K gamer that barely plays online.
Let me ask you a question though. What if the dudes that aren't good close the game and are the ones that make it through the tournament?
Well, that just
is that an indictment on 2K?
No, that's an indictment on everybody else's trash.
I think that is an indictment on your game first and foremost, though.
That still doesn't negate that everybody's trash too.
I don't think 2K can have that happen though. Not if they're playing on sim mode or whatever.
See, that's another thing. I don't think they'll do that.
Of course they will. They were smart. Now, if they don't do that, I'm not watching it all. And yeah, it'll be shit. But if they do play on sim mode, then yeah, it should be okay.
I mean, I think it's
because they'll be forced into playing.
I will say that I think it's going to be interesting, but I'm not going into expectation like I'm going to be watching.
I don't think they're gonna be like us. No.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be playing like straight up sim and being ball. I think you're going to have one player that's going to be good, and that good player may be cheesing the shit out of the game.
But on a scale of pro gamer to Ronnie K, there'll be some. Because Ronnie 2K is a fucking scrub. So because Ronnie 2K is a scrub, I said from the scale of Ronnie 2K to pro gamer, there'll be somewhere in the middle.
To me, there's only one pro gamer that I know, well, pro basketball player that I know that can play this game to a T, and that's Scott Gallagher. I don't have trust in no other pro basketball player outside of him.
Well, he makes the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, he made NBA Live 14 look good. That dude can turn sugar into shit like anybody else.
Sugar into his shit?
You mean shit into sugar?
Listen. I meant what I said. When I said NBA Live 14, I meant what I said. I meant what I said when I said Live 14.
You're right. He turned sugar into shit when he left Live.
I meant what I said.
He turned sugar.
He made a good game.
Right.
I know what I said. Shit.
Okay.
Shit.
If you say
anyway,
so.
let's talk about Last of Us 2, man. I mean, delayed indefinitely. People are losing their shit. Some people are dying. Some people are crying.
You said some people ain't over.
Hey, some people are actually acting up over this game. I'm dead serious.
Man,
you got people on Twitter like saying fuck Sony because this game is being delayed.
Didn't Izzy cancel his pre-order?
Well, like I said, some people are saying.
Here's my theory. And I said this. I wasn't going to play the game until next gen anyway. I think it'll be a release day launch on next gen. And everybody's going to shut the fuck up because they're going to love the game.
Listen,
everybody bitching right now. It's like come on.
I mean, I had the initial thoughts that I was going to end up playing this game on PS5 anyway because my wife was like, look, she's the one that really wants me to play this game. I mean, I'm like, I'll get around to it eventually. She's in love with the first one, so therefore she wants me to play the second one. Because when I bought the first one on PS3, I had no choice. I had to play the game when I got off of work. Because she wanted to know what happened next. It's like I basically was her playthrough. So
she said you got off the clock to get on the motherfucking clock.
Right, exactly. Like when I got home, she was like, look, you gonna get in the shower. Get this controller. We're gonna play this, and I ran through the game and I played. I enjoyed it, but she loved it even more. And she was like, when the remastered one came out, she swear to God she thought it was the second version of the game. But I told her like, no, this is just an upscale version. So she was mad at that. So when the second one's come out, it was like, yo, what you gonna do? You gonna play this on PS4 or PS5? I was like, well, I wanted to look in its best, light when the game comes out. She was like, well, I want you to play it right away because I want to see what happens. So that's the only reason why I'm sort of upset that the game's out. But am I really like F Sony and Naughty Dog can go to hell? Like,
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I mean, these are people who don't have nothing else to play because either one, they don't have
fuck that. They don't have anything else to do. They have no lives. That's the issue with them.
Yeah, these are the extroverts that are trying to pretend to be gamers.
Fucking weirdos. Their biggest intro version is playing games and not streaming for a day.
Because see, my thing is like, look, if you're a gamer, you're gonna have other things to play until it comes out. This is not the end of the fucking world. I mean, I mean, at first when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's canceled. So what? I mean, I don't know.
That was my reaction. I was just sitting there like, okay, all right.
People have to remember.
Figure it was going to happen. Everything else.
People have to remember the game is done.
Pretty much.
And Pooh, it's not canceled. It's just delayed.
Postponed.
This is not NBA Live. This is the Last of Us 2.
This isn't like the 3 NBA Lives that they fucking canceled in a row.
We tried to tell people that was canceled, but nobody was like, "Oh no, it's still coming out."
I want to know how they would react if they was like, "Hey, just telling y'all, NBA Live's canceled too."
Oh, shoot! I think. Oh, but no, Prime got tricked earlier.
Prime be finding a fucking clip somewhere.
He thought something was in the works for NBA Live console, and it wound up being a mobile because this
Something
one
works,
chick
right?
was doing motion capture.
But I do have a question. Yeah, that about to say that girl that was doing motion capture. What was that all about?
I think that was for a mobile game.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
They do motion capture.
That's
for
what I'm about to
mobile?
say. You know it's bad when they doing motion capture for mobile games.
Holy shit.
I'm not absolutely sure, but just following him, he at first he thought something looked like it was cooking. Then it turned out it was just nothing but hot air.
I wonder if Damon Grohl's taking notes about that motion capture for mobile.
How to stay hidden during the pandemic.
Damon Grohl is raiding every fucking liquor store he can find right about now based on past precedent. So.
Well, especially right now. I mean, I don't think he's raiding it because, everybody's like in quote unquote quarantine. You can get that stuff sent to you.
Shoot, like that. What was it? That one person that was like, I just saw on Twitter earlier, where one dude was mad because he ordered the physical copy of Resident Evil 3 and it's not going to get to him until Monday.
Yeah,
see,
stuff like that.
I'm like, dude, you have a digital order you can get right now. You'll be able to play at midnight or whenever you get home. If you have to go to work or whatever, you can play when you get home. It'll be with you tomorrow if you get the digital version. Stop crying.
People just have they just always want a reason to complain. Bro.
See, that's the stuff I don't understand. It's like, how in the hell? You know what I mean? Like, how could you, how is this really affecting you that bad? Like, it's delayed. I mean, look, it ain't like none of y'all going anywhere anyway.
Right. Well, like, what are y'all gonna go and start a career between now and then? No. So right. I mean, like, what?
You know what they said during this pandemic? If at the end of it, if you haven't learned a new language or skill or whatnot, you wasted your time being safe. And other than being safe, so I'm like, there are other things that you can do, that people can do. A game not coming out is not going to kill y'all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
but this fucking virus that's preventing the game from coming out will. So y'all need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, isn't that the reason why? Because they said because of the virus, and it's like,
because it's going to affect the physical
copies
portion of the copy. Yeah, the copies. They're going.
Would you look at that physical copy?
I know, right?
You look at that physical copy still rule the world, huh?
Yeah,
but I can understand it because
people want that collector's edition. That's
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They'll be collecting the C virus.
Hold on a second. Pooh, I'm gonna need you to read your comment. And think about what our podcast is about, and that will answer your question.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Please don't do.
I got him taken care of right there. There we go. There you go. He's taken care of right there. That's it right there. He's taken care of right there.
Yeah, he secretly was like, "What does L start for? LMFA?"
No, Louis C.K.
Right, but no.
I mean, what's the next you gotta ask? Y'all never talk about chefs. Who's y'all's favorite chef?
Yeah, would you guys please get Cal Anderson on so we can talk about smoothies? What the fuck are you talking about?
Smoothies.
Yeah, that would be the time he want to talk about games. That's the time he want to talk about games. Cal Anderson would come and want to talk about games for once when he came on our podcast and we had a plan to fucking talk about smoothies. That's when
let's be honest. What's up with his game? Anybody know?
It doesn't exist.
No, it exists. No, that shit exists very well. I've seen motion cap and all that shit.
Oh, I know. It was in which EA studio?
That man got 3-man linemen, bro. That's legendary.
The 3 pixel linemen. That's what he got.
So at the end of the day,
remember that game we looked at 2 weeks ago that was better than this shit? That's fucking hilarious.
The Roblox football.
Right. Oh no, that shit
Minecraft
was better. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that shit was better than Cal Anderson shit. I ain't gonna lie. Like on some real shit, that game that game has potential to actually be a fun game to play.
Especially when the blocking.
Not necessarily on a simulation football type, but like if you want to play something like on the go or that game would be perfect for the Switch.
It's like Live 14. We know its intentions, but the way they display it, it just isn't up to par.
Not even that, Bills, because Live 14 tried to be a simple. We know this game is more like just a fun time to have.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like you play this game, you know that I know I'm not getting a simulation experience. I know that with this game, I know I'm gonna probably run for like 400 yards with one Lego player. But you know it's going
Lego football.
Right. That's a perfect example right there. Like, say, for instance, if you wanted to play like Batman Arkham Knight or something, and then you turn around to play the Lego Batman series. You know when you play the Lego Batman series, you may get something that goes with the canon, but you know you're not taking this series like you would watch a real Batman show or movie or something.
I'm gonna just say those Lego games were whack as fuck. Once I realized that you couldn't technically die, it didn't make you go back to no checkpoints, anything. You would die, they would shoot out the fucking coins or whatever, and you would literally just start back over again. I'm like, it doesn't send you back to any checkpoint, nothing. I'm like, whack
I think the thing with the Lego games, I think the Lego games are really for kids that's under like 9. I got
right.
I think it's for kids that's under 9 years old who still play with Lego. Like when my son gets older, I would definitely have him play the Lego games first. I mean, right. I don't have a problem with them. I think they're pretty cool because I'm still a fan of Lego. I mean, I don't play Legos or nothing. I'm a fan of Legos. I like the whole concept of building blocks and shit, but it's nothing I would play, you know? I mean, like, I got a few of them for the Wii U because I'm collecting Wii U games, and I got a couple for the original Xbox, but those are probably like the only games that I have not played that's in my collection.
So the first one I played was Indiana Jones. And like I said, it was dope. And then you realize you can fucking die. And you're like, well, what's the point of this? There's no risk here.
Ravens Nation say the game is the shit. Me personally, I can't say it is or not. I never played them. I just look at them as like a kiddie version of the games.
Man, I've never played a Lego.
Me neither.
Ravens Nation.
I never played one.
Nah.
Matter of fact, on Epic Games right now, on Epic Game, I got 3 of them for free, and I put them in my library because they're free. I never downloaded them.
KB3's like, yo, stop talking about Lego.
Go to bed.
No, but I didn't enjoy. I don't enjoy games where there's no penalty for my mistakes. I'm sorry. It's like when we talked about franchise. It's like there's no real penalty for not following the game plan. There's no real penalty for anything.
You know,
and Madden,
like 3 interceptions, your characteristics no longer change.
I mean, shit,
ratings don't really drop.
You could throw 3 interceptions on the play that y'all specifically said you would get a boost on, and you'd get no type of penalty for that. I don't like playing games where there's no penalty.
You'll probably get a boost for actually picking the play.
Right, you kept going back to that play. You didn't give up. Like, fuck out of here.
So at the end of the day, man, this Last of Us 2 do you think it's going to be a trend of other games?
It kind of has been.
I mean, from now to June, yeah.
Yeah.
June may be the cutoff. June releases, maybe.
I'm gonna probably end up taking my son downstairs.
I wonder. See, here's the thing.
I should stop playing 2K5 right now while we're podcasting because I ain't getting my.
Y'all keep talking real quick. I'm gonna take baby downstairs. He's ready to pass out.
You know what? One thing I was wondering was that why? Here's the thing. So people would stop crying. I'm gonna provide the pacifier real quick. Why don't they just release the digital on time since there's nothing that's going to interfere with that? Nothing. Maybe the crunch period that they're in, but they've reported that they are fine with doing that. If all it is just the physical version, just release the digital version.
I'm wondering if it's more a manpower coming into the office to physically do what they need to do to upload it or submit it to the Xbox and PSN servers at this point.
Actually, Last of Us still is PlayStation.
No. But I mean, like other games, I'm wondering if that would be the, if that would be the roadblock.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
that was a cough, actually.
So.
Yeah, it's dry in this room, so.
Yeah, it's dry as hell in my room. I have a humidifier, so.
Yeah, and my temperature went up a little bit too, so. Because I'm on the 3rd floor.
What the fuck? Fucking Pooh talking about Mario Sports. Man, you don't get that Nintendo shit out of here.
I swear, whenever
we just crashed Nintendo 2 weeks ago, and you're gonna sit here and try to bring some Nintendo.
All right, what I missed?
Nintendo spokesperson
talking about some
chat.
Nintendo bullshit.
Yo, Mario Strikers.
Ew.
I I don't know nothing about it. Cause I was at my retro game store the other day, and the guy that I usually give me the hookup on games, he was trying to sell that to me. I was like, the only Mario games I want to play that's even close to sports is Mario Kart.
The fact that he was attempting, like,
yeah,
most of the time with Mario games, you don't even have to attempt.
Right, you just hit one because that's just what fucking happens.
Yeah, that's like with me. It's like if it ain't Mario Kart, I can't get into the only other soccer game. Oh, not it was a soccer game. The only other game that I can get into, like a Mario, Sonic, is like I like Mega Man Soccer. Now that one was okay, but I can't get into if it ain't Mario Kart. I can't get into Strikers or baseball or Mario Tennis. And I don't know.
Did YouTube change their Did YouTube change their restrictions for curse words in their comments?
Yeah, because you can't get them. They had them at one point. You can get them back now.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can
don't knock it till you try it. Yeah, that's what Tank said about sucking dick, and I'm still not gonna try it. So
that's what we're picking up when we left off there. When Apex was talking about this, that's what we leaving on.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh no.
No, but I mean. I don't know. It's to me. I'm gonna tell you one good arcade game. That's what we were talking about, right? What were we talking about when I left?
You're talking about delays.
Yeah.
Delay. No, I know we're talking about that, but I mean, I'm trying to figure out how y'all got to. Because I'm looking at the chat and it says,
"Oh no, because no, that's just Pooh was talking about." Fucking, he said fuck 2K, and then he said he started talking about Nintendo and shit.
Who's just having a soliloquy in the chat?
Pooh's probably like the only person I know that's here that I know that has a Switch.
He's hyping the games up because he pirated.
I mean, that's all you need to know. I mean, these people get the Switch, and I'm not knocking them, but once they get that Switch and they buy it, they turn into like the biggest Super Nintendo fan. And I'm not talking about the Super Nintendo console either. I'm talking about like they wear a cape for Nintendo. Like, I don't know what it is. Like
Ravens Nation, those games are okay. Have you tried Trials Fusion?
Which game you talking about? That
MX versus ATV.
Oh, that game is good. I have the one on original Xbox. That one's pretty good. Another good game that's similar to that nobody talks about is MotorStorm on the PS3. That is a very good game. And I'm surprised that they haven't done anything with that series since then.
Have y'all tried the Trials Fusion series at all?
Yes, that's another one that's good. I had the PS4. Matter of fact, I still got it. That's a damn shame.
The one that came out on PS4, I got stuck like near the last level of the game, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm gonna beat this shit. I'm done."
And
haven't gone back to it.
Didn't that game get like a PS4 Pro patch or something like that?
Maybe.
I think it did.
It was really good. It just gets so difficult.
It came out so early in the lifespan of the PS4. I got the game over here. It's a damn shame. Like I said, I got all these damn PS4 games, no fucking console. What the fuck am I thinking?
Like Trials Fusion's that game that you sit there, you play it, and you're running through rounds, you're running through levels, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, this shit's getting kind of hard.
I'm gonna tell you something. Like, people could talk about the Xbox One and all that, and I'm not saying it's a bad console. A lot of people are going to appreciate in a few years. A lot of people are going to appreciate the PS4. There are so many games that are on that system that are very, very good, and nobody really paid attention to them because everybody wanted the next AAA title. They wanted the next, like for instance, The Last of Us 2 right now. Everybody's so like distraught about that game not coming out, but there's so many other games that are really, really good. Like Dreamfall got a sequel. And I know not a lot of y'all don't know about that game, but Dreamfall was a game on the original Xbox that finally got a sequel after damn near 10, 12, 13 years. Very good game. Siberia 3. Nobody talks about that game. Very good game. It's a lot of good games on the PS4 that's pretty much exclusive to the PS4. I don't think Siberia is exclusive. But
Pooh, you are tripping in the comment section right now. Talking about I'll stick to PS2 to 360 basketball. So you're basically missing the best games.
And the only thing he need to talk about, if it's 360, he needs to be playing 2K11. That's it.
Right.
Speaking of, or with Live 10 a distant second. If you're not playing any one of those two games, I mean, PS2 basketball, really? Let me tell you.
What game on PS2 are you going back to? What basketball game on PS2 are you going back to?
The only game on PS2 he needs to go back to is NBA Hoops, the arcade game. That's the only game that he needs to go back to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stream that game.
Maybe Live 03. Live 03 wasn't bad.
Well, it's NBA Street Volume 2, yes. And like you said, Live 03, Live 05. Those like the only two. And Live 04 is a distant second.
He's true.
Yeah, big time. Shout out to everybody who's here. You know, we like to give y'all some love and really appreciate it. Anything else y'all got about any other games being delayed? Because, like you said, Resident Evil 3 somewhat is delayed because some people can't get there to collector's editions and people are, pinching their nipples because of that.
I'll be playing at midnight.
Man, if I was off, and you know what, matter of fact, I have the right.
Oh boy.
I have the right to take tomorrow off because I
have the right.
Yeah, I have the right to take it.
Oh boy, the Hollywood sports.
Oh man, come on, man.
Yeah, he said that.
Come on,
he said the anti-Hollywood sports rule.
It's actually the opposite because then Hollywood was like, you don't have.
He said you don't have the right. That's what I'm saying.
You're reclaiming your time. That's what you're doing.
Well, I did that last episode. I'm gonna do that again, right?
Yeah, but you said it wrong the last time.
Hilarious.
No, ain't nothing was hilarious in that haircut.
Yo, we're not doing this, bro. We're not doing this right now. We just joked about a truth last week.
What you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
Huh? You said something?
All right. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody talking about Jim Brown's hairstyle right now.
Boy, I had the Bo Jackson without the speed.
Oh. The speed, the power, the mystique. That's a lot of shit he was missing.
The side of that damn haircut has some speed, though. Chris Thomas got into question. I know me and DJ probably the only one that can answer this. Which Sega Genesis football game do you prefer, Joe Montana 94 or Primetime Football?
Joe Montana 94.
Joe Montana 94. I agree with that too. Because Primetime was okay, but y'all don't realize Joe Montana in the early Sega Genesis games was like the football
that was
game.
King.
Yeah, that was the football game.
King. It was
like
what?
It was like exactly. Bitch. It was like Tecmo Bowl on the NES.
Yep.
And then when Genesis came, it was Joe Montana. Because I remember that. Remember 93 Sports Talk Football?
Yep.
Like, yo, can I cut in for a second?
No, go ahead.
So I'm playing NFL 2K5, but I'm in the practice mode right now. They have more dynamic and adjusted AI once you do something in fucking practice mode than they do in Madden. I ran a streak with Randy Moss the first play, and they basically got burned off the line. The second time, the quarterback played bail. And that's in practice mode. You wouldn't see that in franchise in Madden.
Let me tell you something. The AI, if you put the difficulty on normal, the AI is actually very smart. And that makes it funny while APF, their safeties are so dumb compared to 2K5. It's like, how could you go backwards like that?
Dude, now they're playing like 10 yards off of us, and we haven't changed our play. Like, I'm literally running the same play over.
I was about to ask that question, too, because I know practice mode, you usually run the same play over and over.
This is crazy.
And the thing about it is they adjust to what you do. In some cases, they adjust to the formation, because if they see the formation again, they're gonna try to combat what you're trying to do because they think you're running the same play.
And y'all know we aren't 2K stands, but come on, bro. This game came out in 2004.
Right.
Remember, they're also dealing with, remember the stat overlays they would put out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, passes to the right, passes to the left, passes to the center, the depth of these passes, and you can only figure out that the AI was looking at that too.
This was also the only football game you could play.
The thing is,
and when there was an injury, you could go back to the replay and see exactly how it happened to say it.
Right, like if they got hit, like if they got a leg injury, you will see that they got hit in the leg or something like that.
Like Ted Washington, I was playing with the Raiders, and Ted Washington jumped up and tried to bat a pass down on the line, and you know how the lineman shoves them and they fall back.
Right,
he hurt his leg like that.
Right,
and they called a card out.
Ravens Nation, no, that's not the reason why the safeties are useless. gonna put this up here.
No, it's
Ravens,
not how slow the
Ravens, they say the safeties were rendered almost useless due to how slow the game speed was. That was not the reason.
No, it's because they're dumb. That's why.
It's exactly the reason why the safeties did not have awareness. The awareness for the everybody else was fine, but for some reason the safeties' awareness was out of whack. The only way that the safeties look good at APF, they literally had to play man. They had to. If you played in zone, they had no idea what to do. They'll turn their back to the play.
That or you control the
safety. You control the safety.
Yeah. I always control the safety in either game.
And my
I don't
thing
trust
is,
any safety play.
My thing is, I've started controlling the safety in 2K5 because I noticed how easy it is to rush the passer on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like everybody wins off the line when you're controlling them in this game. So I just control the safety or a linebacker or something like that because you'll get sacks all day if you.
Do y'all agree with this real quick before we go to Modern Warfare? Because I mean, we ain't got much to say about Modern Warfare anyway, but we'll touch on it. Do you agree with what Chris Thomas just said? The speed
100%.
really didn't matter in 2K5?
100%. There was no.
What about you, DJ?
I agree to a point.
Here's the thing: it was the running animation that made it so that there was no true speed burst away from people. Not even so much the button configuration. You didn't get rewarded for tapping that button as much.
See, that's what I was about to bring up.
I think the thing with 2K5 was a lot of people don't realize that the game was a game of angles. Like if you ran to the sideline the quickest, you had a better chance of getting upfield. I don't know if a lot of people realize that. Like, don't get me wrong. The thing about 2K5 is the animations and the logic played so well that you didn't really care about the flaws that the game really had. Like, for instance, the linebackers, not the linebackers, but the tight end don't even head track. But when the ball gets to them, it's either incomplete pass or a completion based on the right catch animation. So it kind of made sense without making sense.
But the issue was, I think he's talking maybe more so about like strictly ball carriers.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get into that. That's the next thing I'm about to get into. Like if you play 2K5 and they got a running back that actually had speed, the speed didn't matter as far as them running away from you per se. It's like there's some cases where they have to run toward the sideline, and like how they get the edge to beat you to that edge. They do that at an angle that's so sharp that it makes it look like it's not like they're running in a curve to get to the angle. They'll run directly straight to the sideline at times.
Here's the other issue.
It's really odd.
The other issue and the reason why I feel like speed doesn't matter as much as it should is because on this game, it's very much like Madden 04 and like old school Madden where you couldn't do what we do these days with the tackle animations where you're in the area and then they plant their feet and they tackle. On here, you literally have to meet them at that spot and then press the button. Yeah. If you press dive, you're done.
Yeah, because a wrap-up tackle in 2K5 really means wrap-up tackle.
You have to run to them.
Yeah, you got to get to them. Because, like, if you ever... They have a wrap-up tackle animation in 2K5. Like, if you ever seen it, you actually see them put their arms out and grab at air if they're not close enough. Yeah. Or like you said, if they dive, do you see them actually try to dive at their hips or their legs? And if they miss, they miss. Like I said earlier, the animations are well done to the point where when we see plays play out, in our mind, it's like, you know what, that's football. That makes sense compared to like other games where like, how the hell did that happen? You know what I mean? So I think that's another reason why 2K5 is still regarded, even with its flaws. I mean, you got to understand, this game is about to be almost a 20-year-old game.
Bro, this is the thing. It's like you can go and start setting different parameters, like as far as like, down and distance and things like that. And then you can see the cornerbacks play accordingly with the depth. Right. And it's like, that's the thing you don't see in Madden. You don't see one guy playing off and another guy playing press unless you manually do that. But I'm playing against the computer and I'm looking at their setup right now. And Randy Moss, they're actually pressing him. And the receiver on the other side, they're actually playing like about 10 yards off. It's because they kind of might know what route combination is coming, but it's things like that that make the game so great. Man.
Yeah, they know who it is on the side of the ball, too. They respect them.
Yeah, so it's like those are the things that make this game great. Obviously, it has its shortcomings, but it's things like that, like tackling. When you when you tackle, like we said, it's angles. Who?
Puta, you can't do a hot route on the Thank you for retracting that. What the hell are you talking about? So you can't do a 5-yard. You say you can't do a hot route on a 5-yard hit. What are you talking about? 5-yard hitch? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What you do is I can't remember. You do the hot route, and I think you press down.
It's not 5 yards. It's on the line of scrimmage, and it'll give you like sort of like a hitch, but it's on the line of scrimmage.
That's right. It's like you'll go up and you'll go up and you'll hitch. Yeah, the hitch is there, but not a 5-yard. I'm about to say no.
Yeah, it's like right on the line of scrimmage, which is cool when you see somebody playing off. That's another thing. I don't mean to get into a whole spiel about 2K, but since I'm playing it, I might as well just point out things that I see. Another thing that's good is like, before we came on air, I was talking about how you can throw the ball to locations where in Madden, the ball's kind of tethered to go to a certain spot. That's why a lot of times if you want to throw the ball away, you want to throw the ball into the dirt, you can't. They want it so that an interaction triggers. On here, if a guy's covered, you can overthrow him, you can underthrow him. And when they run a curl route, you're throwing it right to his inside shoulder or outside shoulder based on where the defender is. You can control all that.
Well, when you put on maximum passing, you got a lot of leeway where you can throw the ball.
You have a lot of leeway. And considering how easy it is to throw the ball in this game by default.
And if you don't know how to throw the ball, all you have to do is go into don't go to practice, go into training. Training will teach you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the one issue I have with this game is unless you put the passing slider all the way down, it's so easy to throw the ball in this game.
Matter of fact, did you actually go into the training of NFL 2K? Did you see how large that training book is in 2K5?
Oh, it's huge. I think
it's like 90-something pages.
It's huge.
You don't see shit like that in any game, let alone a football game. It's like 90 pages of what you can do and all the stuff you can do in the game. That's like unbelievable.
So I mean, this game, considering the things that it does better than Madden, like right now, it's pretty embarrassing. The speed of the game, the tackling, like I said, it's not really you going into an animation where you're not really in position and they kind of bail you out. Like, you literally have to run to the spot and tackle the guy. And that's just it's just different, bro. The running animations, and I still think Madden needs to put those little animations with the right stick, the canned ones where you can start to put combos in. Much like 2K brought back they brought it back for a year. The canned size up animations where you can branch out.
Well, the thing is, they had it in Madden 25 with the modifier.
But they didn't have the canned combination ones, like the little stutters and things like that. They had a couple of moves,
the thing about 2K5 is like if you run the ball and you just tap up on the right
they have
analog stick,
crazy animations.
They have the stutter step, and if you do the stutter step and then you like hit left or right, you can do a one cut and you're gone type move.
Yeah, and you can branch out, and you can branch out of spins, like you can branch out of anything. It's crazy. We still haven't seen this many moves in any football game.
What's wrong with celebrities, bro?
We say need more celebrities to face. Fuck celebrities. Oh,
what's wrong with what happened to celebrities? Then what they do to you? I know there's some celebrities doing. Man. I know some celebrities doing this quarantine shit on Twitter. They need to stop that shit. Some of that shit is extra trash.
Cardi B needs to keep going though. She's funny as fuck.
No, she's always funny. But you seen the shit with Madonna?
What did she do?
DJ, did you see the fried fish video with Madonna?
Nah, I didn't see it.
All right, well, good. You ain't missed
this already sounds bad. Fried fish.
Just go on Twitter and hit Madonna fried fish and just go look at that video.
Oh shit.
Anyway, let's talk about Call of Duty real quick.
Could be a joke about Madonna and fried fish.
Let's talk about Call of Duty
referencing.
Let's talk about Call of Duty being banned in Russia. Do anybody don't know why Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is banned in Russia? They don't know why? Do anybody don't? Raise your hand.
I think everybody should get exactly why that game is banned.
Right. It's like, is anybody surprised?
Like I said, IGN chose that that level of all levels to go and post and say, here's your Modern Warfare 2 remaster.
I told my wife, because prior to me and my wife before we even got together, her nephews, her cousins, which was a little bit younger than her. They were playing Modern Warfare 2, and at the time she would watch them, and she was like watching them because she always watched video games. That's one big thing about my wife. She don't play them as much unless it's Dr. Mario, but she actually watches like me or whoever play. So she was watching them play, and she saw no Russian. Who was watching them play this, and she was like, "Y'all never playing that again." That's what she said. She said, "Y'all not playing this. Y'all not playing that. You're not playing that mission ever again." Now, mind you, at the time, when Modern Warfare 2 was like, this is what 10, probably 13 years ago, 2008, 2009. Mm-hmm. Mind you, now her I put it in perspective. Her cousins now is like, I think Christopher is like 23 now. So mind you, he was like 10 or maybe 11 at the time.
Right.
So that's why she felt the way she felt at the time. And then when I told her that the game was being remastered, the first thing she asked me, like, is that airport scene in the game still? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it still is. And she was like, oh, well, I can't tell nobody not to play it now because they're older. Because you can't tell her because like, her cousins are like 20-something now. But right. She was like, she told me, she was like, for her, it wasn't like a PC or, statement type, because she didn't understand what all she knew it was like they were shooting civilians in the airport. And she was like, this is not a game that kids should be playing. Like, if it was like them playing military, shooting other military guys, she understood it, but they were killing civilians. So at the time, they were like I said, there was like 10 or 11. And I can understand that. But I asked her, I was like, well, do you really have a problem with it? She said, no, I don't have a problem. She just felt like younger kids shouldn't play that particular mode. I can understand why Russia don't have it because it's called No Russian. I get it, but I really don't care. I mean, once I play the game, when it finally comes to PC, I'm gonna run it back. So, DJ, what are your thoughts?
The thing I find funny about this is that, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, was that all the people that are playing it now, like your IGNs or whatever, they're showcasing that mission because you'll get the most clicks.
Double standard, right?
But we all know, and don't act like nobody didn't do it. When we originally played that mission, you shot every single person in the airport. Some of y'all got out in front and just was like just ripping through people, making sure people weren't. I did it. That was the point of the mission. The point of that mission is that you're undercover and you're trying to
impress.
Right, you're trying to stay undercover.
Eventually, shot Makarov.
so
yes. So somebody.
The thing is, though, wow, T.O. speed is at 84 in this game. Anyway,
oh god,
that's insulting. My thing was like a lot of people say, like, well, you don't play GTA and not shoot civilians. Well, I'm one of the people who do. Now,
I get bored.
Of course,
shooting cops.
But here's my thing. Like, I'm very, and I think VF has seen me before with this whole, like, I guess in a way morality thing when I play video games. Like, if somebody hits me and I'm playing GTA and like they like run into me and shit, I'll get out of my car and I'll point my gun at them, right?
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna shoot them.
Right, I do that too, just to see if they're gonna run off or some shit like that.
But when they get out and they're like about it, I put my gun away and I'm like, oh, I'm throwing hands.
No, let me tell you something. No, that's it. Let me tell you something about GTA. Which one is it? I think it's San Andreas or no San Andreas. Yo, you pull out a gun on some people there, they'll pull a gun out back on you.
Wait, just for reference, T.O. speed was an 84 and Marvin Harrison's was a 98. Just think about that. Anyway, yeah,
wait a minute. Marvin Harris' speed was run away from the cop's speed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. How the hell does he get a 98? Marvin Harrison wasn't fast like that.
Yeah,
but
like I said, I could be wrong. I think it was San Andreas. If you pull out a gun on some people, they will pull a gun back out on you. That's one of the few. That's one of the few GTAs that done that. I don't even think they did that before.
Hold up, Bills. Remember that video I sent you? What if that happened in GTA?
Oh, that would be that dude was a fucking chump. But yeah, so I say that to say when I played that, I was about. I was.
Yeah, you had.
About
you were young. You were mad young.
15,
Mission.
15. Let's call it. No, not even.
You talking about No Russian?
Yeah, I was about 14. So I even when I was 14, I was still like, I don't know how to
shouldn't have been playing that game according to the rating.
But even then, when I played, I was like, wait, we're shooting.
Yeah, cause see me.
I was thinking in my head, the trigger was, wait, they don't have guns though.
The thing got me though.
Me.
I mean, cause I played it. I played it. The thing that got me was, I mean, I was cool at shooting the people, but what got me was the screams and the yells and.
Man, you act like you ain't never played a first-person shooter that screams and yells before.
No.
But
it's not like that.
Guns.
Not like that. That was the first time I actually heard like women and men like scream for their lives. No, it wasn't like it made me like distraught or whatever. But at the end of it, I was like, or in the middle of it, I was like, yo, what the fuck are we really doing? You know, because I mean, I knew the whole mission obviously, but I'm like, it kind of made you feel like shit at first. It kind of did. I mean, that's just me. I don't know, Bills. What about you? You kind of.
I felt some type of way because it was like, even at a young age, I realized I'm like, yo, they don't have guns, but we do. Yeah, so it's like every other mission you're shooting at dudes with guns, and it kind of gives you that, okay, well, there's a reason we're shooting them. Then we get up there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, who are we supposed to shoot? And for a couple minutes, I was confused, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you don't shoot. I'm like, I'm not fucking shooting these people.
Yeah, to me it was the screams and the cry for help, and I was like, and I guess for me, it's the law enforcement person in me, because at the time I was working I was a police officer at the time, so to me it was like kind of like, yo, we're really shooting like civilians, and it's not if they wasn't like screaming, if they were just running or whatever, I can deal with that. But when I actually realized like there was guys on the ground asking for help that wasn't dead,
right?
People grabbing their stomachs because they were half dead or they were really injured, and they're like asking, and then you see one of the guys that we're with just shoot the person in the head. I'm like,
it's why
my first time running through it made me feel kind of funny. It did,
and that's why I say, like, I've never been in games to just shoot civilians. Like it's never been a thing for me. Like it's never been fun.
Man, I just held down the
Anquan Bolden's speed. No. Wait a minute. Y'all motherfuckers talking about speed done right in this game. No, hold on, no.
I'm not.
Y'all motherfuckers talking about speed done right in this game. How the fuck is Anquan Bolden faster than T.O.? Anquan Bolden got an 89, T.O. got an 84 speed. Y'all niggas better get the fuck out of here with that shit. Talk about speed was done right. Anquan Bolden faster than T.O. Y'all fucking ankle weight having that.
I'm not sure. Do y'all know if did they fix the game for them not have that in the scene in this, or is it the
there was an in between version where you could choose to play the mission or
right not. But I'm just saying, for the people that's in Russia, did they take it out completely?
No, I don't. I think they took it out completely in Russia.
So the
as
game
far as the one that came out when they did they did like a pseudo remake.
Yeah, because I'm looking at another article. Remake, Yeah, I was about to say, because I'm looking at another article saying that it was recalled back in 2009. So the original version was recalled without the scene in it. So I wonder if they did that for the remastered version. Because
did they put a disclaimer up before you played that? Yeah, I think I remember.
Wait a minute. That's the option. Wait a minute. When you got to that mission,
I think you're right. But I don't think the first time, if you bought one of the first copies of that game, they didn't have one.
No, because it was the first time anyone has seen it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't even, and plus at the same time, when that game came out, social media wasn't really as widespread as it was.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you bought a revised copy, or if you bought a later version, like a second print of the game, then they gave you the option. Because I don't think the first print of that game did not have no disclaimer. You just went in and played it.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, I was holding down the R trigger the whole entire time. Oh, time to reload. That's double tap. That was me. I own the game Hatred.
There's
so that should tell you something.
Right.
Yeah.
There's still no denying that Modern Warfare 2 campaign is probably one of the best Call of Duty campaigns ever.
And that's the one where they pretty much almost destroyed DC.
Yeah.
That's the part. That's the mission that got to me.
Oh, the Virginia was it?
No,
Virginia?
that was DC.
Oh yeah.
The White House.
Yeah, that was.
That
I
got
remember,
to me.
I remember that, but there was one
like,
with Virginia, wasn't there? There was one like Virginia or something like that.
Well, I think parts of it,
like a neighborhood in Virginia.
That's Modern Warfare 2. That's Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, but that main mission in Washington, that got to me. I was like, look, that's my home. That's why I like the Division 2 and stuff like that. I think one other scene, not in Call of Duty, but one that really got to me was Homefront, where you had a child like screaming, and then the parents get shot in
the beginning when you're on the bus.
And that set me up for the rest. Yeah, that set me up for the rest of the game. I was like, I'm killing all these Koreans.
Yeah, that didn't.
That's because that was the plot of the game. Because South Korea had came together, they formed a new Korea, and then all of a sudden they started taking over shit. That was the environment of the game.
Yeah, there was like gas price was like almost like $25 a gallon or some shit. Yeah.
Marshall Falk has a 70 agility in this game. What the fuck is going on with these ratings? I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be playing this game while we're doing this pod, but good God. Some of this is like, what the fuck?
Should wait until you get into their trade logic.
Right.
Oh, well, no, I'm good. Y'all already warned me about that.
Ravens Nation say story-wise, Modern Warfare 4 is better than the first Modern Warfare is better than 2. 3 is dead last.
You mean Call of Duty 4, not Modern Warfare 4.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's why I said Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah.
1 and 2. All three of them are like a branch off each other. It's hard to actually say. I would say 3 is somewhat last, but all three of them are like pretty much borderline.
Black Ops 1 was good.
Black Ops 1, I like the campaign of Black Ops 1. That was good. Black Ops 2 was okay, but I like 1.
Was Black Ops 2 the one that was trippy? I mean, as far as like you had those other missions where you were the president and you had to make it out their room and stuff like that. That
was Black Ops 1. That was the end of Black Ops 1. Because you got to play. You got to play with JFK and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
okay. I remember that.
That was the first one.
That was actually pretty fun. That
was. You know what that was? That was a gateway to zombies.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. You talk about this old gateway drug from Draft Champions to Mutt. That was a real gateway.
VF.
What's up?
Warwick Dunn has an 85 agility.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not mad at that one. That was not as bad.
He was pretty agile, bro.
He was agile.
Brian Westbrook has a 68 agility.
Now that's criminal. Now, Warwick Dunn with 85 agility at that time.
McGavin out here.
And so at that time, I can get that because you got to mind you that was 2004.
But he was still good back there. Remember, he had a couple of seasons left.
He was good. Now, I'm not saying that, but he was still somewhat on the decline. So 85,
Ricky Williams, 75.
85, I'm okay with the 85.
To run over people.
85 is good compared to the rest of them, but still for me, it's like, what the fuck?
Because, I mean, we're not talking about Mike Allstott, Warwick Dunn.
Bro, they gave Julius Jones an 85. So then it becomes criminal for Warwick Dunn.
That's criminal for Warwick Dunn. I agree because
Adrian James, 79. What the fuck is going on
Adrian James, 79 what?
Agility.
I'm okay with that.
I swear the flaws of 2K5 that no one wants to talk
about.
No,
I'm okay. I'm okay with Adrian James.
Priest Holmes, 79.
No, absolutely not.
Larry Johnson, 78. And Larry Johnson is an 89 speed and Priest Holmes is an 81. Yet Priest Holmes is a 95 rating and Larry Johnson 86. What kind of metric?
That's just straight backwards. They should be out. That's
what I'm saying. What the fuck is going on here?
But anyway, anything else we got with this Modern Warfare 2?
Well, I tell you what, if you guys play that mission, get in front of everybody and just lay everybody out. That's the point of the mission.
Oh my God.
I am curious if they're going to do a remake of Modern Warfare 2 like they did the current Modern Warfare.
They need to remaster Black Ops 2 and include multiplayer.
Because that's my favorite. Because I'm going to tell you, the recent Modern Warfare is actually really good. I enjoyed that game.
Wait a minute. We also got to talk about the fact that people, as far as this Modern Warfare remake, they don't care about the campaign. All of a sudden, they're hauling out. We don't care about the campaign. Probably the same people that were all into the campaign when it first came out. They just want to play that cheap-ass multiplayer.
Well, I was going to say, I think they're only saying that because they don't have an option to play multiplayer at all. So
you better enjoy current Modern Warfare.
That's what I'm about to say. Y'all know why. Y'all know why they didn't put multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 because it's going to be eating their own. They're going to be eating their own.
Right.
They're going to be eating their own crowd.
Okay, last one.
Their whole player base is going to be eaten alive.
LaDainian Tomlinson, 76 agility.
Who?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
He's what?
Oh, damn.
A 76 agility.
No, he should be up there. He should be up there. He should be up there in the 90s.
Marcel Ship. Oh, he sucked.
God, Marcel Ship got his ass. And Marcel Ship thought he was the shit until he came across Georgia Southern. But Georgia Southern whipped his ass, boy. That shit was no joke.
A fucking almost 40-year-old Emmitt Smith went and took his job.
Wow.
I remember
Rudy Johnson, he's pretty good.
I remember when Marcel Ship played for UMass and against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern kicked his ass. I think he ran for like 30 yards or something like that.
Oh God. Yeah. The only futuristic Call of Duty that was actually good that I slept on was none of them were good, bro.
He said Advanced Warfare. Jesus.
None of them were good, bro.
Black Ops 3 was not too bad.
Black Ops 3 was the best of them all, but
I got Advanced Warfare and I didn't even touch it. I still got it on PS4. It's still sitting there.
Yeah, I liked Advanced Warfare.
Did you?
I know Pooh said something about World at War. That game sucked.
Whoa! We ain't taking no World at War slander.
That game sucked.
Whoa! Which World? You talking about World at War on 360?
You tripping?
Man, let's go to the next topic, man. You tripping hard, bro. World at War is the truth, bro.
That game next to Mag, and you can just have.
Oh man,
have a
come
nice
on,
day.
man. You about to get muted, man. Chill, bro. Come on, man.
Yo,
World at War was nice.
95 agility. I'm trying to figure out where
they cut that game off, man.
Yo, Ken Hamlin got a 95 agility. I'm just trying to figure out where they're going with this.
But 2K5 is a masterpiece, though. Everything's correct in that game.
It still is.
Thank you,
The thing is, we just don't understand the damn ratings because when you do play the game, the game still plays out properly.
But I'm just wondering why
King David creates a comment.
Kind of with DJ on the no Russian front. It never stopped me. I just did what I needed to. In this case, mowing down civvies.
That was the point of the mission.
Aeneas Williams.
I'm like, I just find it funny that when these IGNs and they want to show that mission that they just sit there. That dude was shooting in the air like that.
Man, you still ain't making up for you saying the World at War was trash, bro.
It's still trash.
We ain't doing that.
That's crazy.
World at War is trash.
Man, just for that, I'm buying 2 copies of that shit next time I go to the store, man.
Yeah, you bought 2 copies of trash.
Wow.
He tripping, man. Get your boy bills, man. Get your boy.
You're the one that's tripping.
He was my boy.
2 copies of that trash at that.
So what? I don't even want to ask no more. 2K20 tournament, man. These NBA players are getting together for a good cause because I think the winner wins like $100,000. This is really confusing as well. Whoever wins get $100,000 to put to the charity of their choice, but it has to be a charity that's dedicated to COVID-19. So is it really
basically a list of charities that you pick and say that's your choice, right? Basically.
So these players are actually going to play 2K20. I'm gonna ask you, DJ, what are your thoughts about these guys playing? You think it's gonna be entertaining? Because I think it's gonna be on ESPN.
No, I don't think it's gonna be entertaining at all. We already got Ronnie 2K already stuck a foot in his mouth.
That fucking bum.
Hey, didn't he get caught talking shit about somebody on live?
Yeah, he got caught on live stream. I
what was he talking shit about?
Boogie
Cousins, yeah.
He was like, that man's a dick.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second. Ronnie 2K of all people with his fucking Kermit the Frog with a voice modifier sounding ass.
Oh, Kermit
man. Get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Roddy 2K got the nerve to be calling somebody a dick. You might like one in your mouth, you fucking loser.
Whoa, yeah.
Man, what is it doing with this oral stuff, man? You've been doing this since last episode, man. What's up,
man?
with
Fuck Roddy 2K.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Well, anyway. So, DJ.
So Boogie responded with that pic. I forgot who the actual person is in that scene, but he's like pointing. So, and apparently Ronnie 2K apologized, but you know,
it's too late for that. And you know, nobody.
You've been do that shit. You gotta apologize like you weren't speaking on your real true feelings of that.
Right? Like,
you better off not saying nothing at all, bro.
Loser.
He really is, man. Fuck
yeah, because I think it was all centered around because Boogie didn't get his Elgato sent to him. Like somebody forgot to send him the Elgato to record everything, and then he was just I'm gonna play devil's advocate because of course you can't really say shit like that and forget that you're live streaming. Right. But I'm thinking he's basically describing Boogie's demeanor. If you talk, well, it was really based around how Boogie responds to stuff and whatever. And I guess he didn't like the fact that, or Ronnie 2K didn't like the fact that somebody forgot to send him an Elgato. It was like, oh boy, you don't want to miss that guy. That guy's dick. I mean, again, he's on live stream. He really should be more aware. If you're like the PR guy, you should be more aware of your surroundings than this guy is.
All I know is somebody need to tell Grover to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Famous Nation said if they did a Madden version of 2K, then it might be entertaining. What are you talking about? They already quote unquote have that. Go to the Twitch channel.
Wait a minute. What's the letter of the day? L.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like seriously, man. They're like, 2K already tried that already. I mean, it's just bad,
I saw a couple players play in that little tournament that they have going right now. I seen one play I didn't watch a lot of it or much of it, but I watched a couple of plays. He did it. I think one guy was playing with the Houston Texans. The guy who plays on the Texans, and one guy, I forgot the other team he was playing with, but he did a decent pass. He rolled out with Watson and delivered a pass on cue and seemed normal.
I found one of those losers that I follow every time there's new Madden footage coming out. I think his name is Toke or some shit like that. That dude looked like he had 4 rounds of fucking Coke before he did that fucking video. Oh, damn. The way he was so amped up. Everybody, we're here. And I'm like, you shut the fuck up.
There are a ton of people I think do Coke in the community.
I think they're doing a pretty good job as far as trying to raise money for COVID-19 or whatever, and trying to do something positive. But I think people in general are going to like this because it's still their celebrity or their favorite players playing a game. This is the closest thing they got to real sports. So I think people are going to tune in, but people who like really play games or people like start to notice that, I just think some of these players are not going to play the game that well, and they're going to be like, yo, this dude is ass, and like they're playing all wonky and shit. That's why I think it's not going to be entertaining on a game level. Now, their reaction to it and them laughing and joking might be cool, though. But,
yo, I just, oh, God. No, I just read something on my phone on Instagram. Somebody sent a picture out where they're saying that the stimulus checks went out. But if you look at the picture, there's a transaction for RedTube and Pornhub. And people are literally saying, "I got my y'all better go check y'all checking accounts because I got my stimulus check." And
people are fucking
hilarious. I bet he did. Bills, what
this is random, but Eric Dickerson is better than Barry Sanders. Okay.
I'm not.
Can we end this fucking podcast already? If that's what the comment section's gonna be like.
Yeah, nah. Bill, what are your thoughts about this tournament, man? What's your thoughts about it? I can't even. I'm not. Eric Dickerson's good. Don't get me wrong, but we're not doing that.
Especially when he got caught from behind by Daryl Green. So
that could go a couple ways. So we're not. All right. I think the tournament is gonna be entertaining because, like I said, the motherfuckers who don't know their sets, especially if they're the people initiating the plays in real life, shit's gonna be funny. I think it's gonna be really funny, and if we happen to get some good basketball out of it,
thank you, Chris Thomas.
What do you say?
I put it on the screen.
Delete that. Delete that shit. Eric was better. Don't at me. Don't worry, ain't nobody atting you. We about to remove your fucking comment with that crazy ass shit. What are you gonna say next? Ron Harper before the knee injuries was better than Michael Jordan. Go ahead, say it.
No, he'll probably say some dumb shit like Craig Elo was better than John Paxson or some shit.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, hey man. I looked up Jordan stats for the 87 first round. Shit wasn't pretty, bro. A couple 50 pieces, 39 and 42 on Craig Elo.
He'd probably be the type to say that Brent Price was better than Mark Price.
They said that Craig Elo was gonna shut him down. He was the next great white hope.
Yeah, and fucking what was it? Gerald Wilkins said he was gonna shut Michael Jordan down too, and he got his team torched for that series. So he should have learned you don't talk shit to Michael Jordan. You don't talk shit to any great, but you don't talk shit to Michael Jordan. He was bigger, faster, strong. Oh,
like when you sit there and start talking shit about players, and you think you're gonna do this and that, and then they're gonna be like, "All right, we'll see what's gonna happen," and then you see what happened.
Ravens Nation, you do know that Barry Sanders used to squat like 500 pounds, right?
Right. And
did you see the? Well, this is gonna sound gay as fuck, but did you see the thighs on this guy? Like Barry Sanders' thighs was like no joke.
Bro, I can't believe we're even entertaining this right now.
You did it.
Wait a minute. Could Eric Dickerson dunk? No. Barry Sanders could.
How about the one time Eric Dickerson was in the playoffs? He got his ass clamped down. I forget who they played. They played
wait. But that's the thing. And how many players did Eric Dickerson juke in one play versus Barry Sanders?
Bro, why we even talking? You said that Barry ever won for what?
Do you know what
whose line was more trash? Eric Dickerson's line or Barry Sanders?
Do you know what this number is right here? I think don't quote me on this, but I think this is the correct number. But do you know what this number means right here?
Where is it?
It's in the YouTube chat. I'm sorry. Do you know what that number is right there? I want to think that's correct.
A year.
What is that? Yards from scrimmage?
Barry Sanders ran that many yards in college in one season.
Okay, so you said he had 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen and Eric had 1. Okay, now name a quarterback that Barry Sanders.
Wait a minute. Barry never really had a line. What the fuck are we talking about?
They really run and shoot in Detroit. Shut up.
Are we gonna act like Barry Sanders didn't beat the fucking Cowboys by himself?
Wait a minute. Didn't everybody
beat the Cowboys by themselves? Barry Sanders and Randy Moss.
Wasn't the notion in the 90s saying that Barry should have had Emmitt Smith's offensive line?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wasn't that the notion?
Jim Everett.
Everybody said that Barry Sanders should have had Emmitt Smith offensive line. That dude would have probably ran for 20,000 yards.
Ravens Nation. So you telling me that you're gonna throw out one year where Eric Dickerson set the record for the amount of rushing yards in the season, but you're not going to talk about the fact that fucking O.J. Simpson ran for 2,000 twice? You're going to talk about the guy that ran once and set the record. You're not going to talk about the fact AP came off an injury and almost broke his record. What are we talking about right now?
Look, I'm gonna be really petty when I say this, but if Eric Dickerson had better vision than Barry Sanders, then why the hell was he wearing glasses while playing?
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm not saying that you should poo-poo and down this stat. I'm not saying nothing about 2105. 2105 in one season is amazing. In college, Barry Sanders ran for 2,628 yards in college in one season.
Can we talk about
think about that? No. Dead serious. let's just think about this for a second. I'm not saying there's nothing bad about 2,100 yards and 26-28 in one season. In college, now mind you, college was back in the 80 and 88 was what, 12 games?
Yeah.
And maybe 13 games. You ran for 26-28.
How about the fact?
Come on, bro.
How about the fact that Barry Sanders never ran the ball in a season over 343 times? Eric Dickerson had years of 390 carries, 379 carries, 404 carries, 388 carries, and he still couldn't top Barry Sanders.
Bro, look Chris Thomas. Look what Chris Thomas put. Mind you, in that year, they didn't even count bowl game yards and less games. They didn't even count the bowl game yards. This man ran for 2,600 yards.
But what I'm saying is Barry Sanders.
That record would never be broken, bro. Not
Barry
26.
Sanders ran for 1,500
Wait,
yards.
Hold on.
255 carries.
Hold up. I'm shutting this shit down right now. Okay, so I just looked up Eric Dickerson's college rushing stats.
Oh boy,
the man only rushed career total 4,400 yards. Career total.
But Ravens Nation, you're talking about how much?
Send me that. No, send me that link. That don't even sound right. Send me that link.
How much you say he ran for?
He said 4,400 yards. You sure that's right?
4,450 yards total. He played at Southern Methodist University.
Oh, you talking about at college?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying in college.
Okay. Oh,
so if you that number that you put up for college, Barry Sanders ran that
more than half in one season.
Exactly.
Even that Ravens Nation is sitting here talking about this little 4-year span where he ran for almost 7,000 yards, but Barry Sanders pretty much obliterated the league for 8 seasons in a row.
Oh yeah,
the dude. His first year started 13 games and had 280 rushes for 1,400 yards. Do you know how hard that is? He ran the ball less than 300 times. He had 1,400 yards. Bro, how are we even comparing Eric Dickerson to Barry Sanders right now?
Wait a minute. That's not. He's talking about did Barry ever perform in the playoffs like he got the team to the playoffs by himself? Like what's his name? Scott Mitchell, the quarterback, wasn't bullshit.
And Rodney Pete
wasn't bullshit. Like
Andre Ware.
Right. Come on.
I'm about to shut this shit down. I'm about to shut this shit down right now since he's talking about playoffs. Let's look at playoffs. Let's look at playoffs for Eric Dickerson since he played in 6 playoff games. Let's look at this shit. I'm sorry, 7 playoff games. All right. So against Washington, he had 10 carries for 16 yards. Against Chicago, he had 17 carries for 46 yards. And against Cleveland, he had 15 carries for 50 yards. Now, the 2 games that he blew up, he had 34 carries for 248 yards. He ran the ball 34 times, bro. And 26 carries for 158 yards. This is not impressive, bro. So when you talk about playoff, at least pick somebody that had a chance to go to the playoffs.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
It's not even close. It's not even close, bro.
Let's get back to this 2K tournament. Well, who y'all think winning? Like who's playing? Matter of fact,
let me look and see. Let me see here. NBA 2K tournament. Let's see what this is about. Okay, so Kevin Durant, Derrick Jones. Derrick Jones seems like he games. Devin Booker, I know games, and Donovan Mitchell. I'm gonna go with Trae Young.
Trae Young, he plays games too. He does.
I'm gonna go with Trae Young or Devin Booker, one or the other, and then opposite sides of the bracket, so they can end up playing.
Okay. I don't have to pick. I was just curious.
What I think was funny is that they were seeded according to their overall rating, which I think is a huge knock on a couple of these guys. Yeah, that's how they were seeded based on their overall rating in the game. Which is funny because you can't base it off that because the ratings suck in the game. But
the shenanigans continue.
Eric Dickerson.
Oh, I said
that. No. I mean, it's not a knock on Eric Dickerson. I like him.
It's not, but I mean,
I still think he's one of the greatest college and professional players in the NFL of all time.
He basically went and took Karl Malone's stats and said he's better than Michael Jordan. That's basically what he went and did.
Yeah, but you know, like comparing him to Barry, I'm gonna be honest, as far as any running back goes, it's very hard to compare to Barry Sanders.
There's not very many comparable.
Man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, people say Emmett, and like we all know, Emmett had a beast of an offensive line, and he was like a one. He was a north-south runner. It's like he's not breaking many tackles unless if you run straight up and you run right in front of him and let him run you over.
Right.
So it's like Barry is like, good luck. You know what I mean?
You better bring a gang of people, and even then,
right. So
the only running backs to me all time that are comparable to Barry are Walter Payton.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I don't think Adrian Peterson has the totality as far as stats, but as far as his impact on the game, I think he's another one.
But I think I give AP more of a more comparable to an Emmitt Smith type, though.
No, I don't mean play style. I mean, as far as like when you're talking about the greatest of all time, like the people I'm gonna start thinking about are Barry Sanders and Walter Payton, and then obviously you have the Gale Sayers. I didn't see Gale Sayers play live. I didn't see Jim Brown play live, but from his highlights, he looked like he's playing a bunch of bums that were out of their fucking league. That's just me. So when you start, there's not many people that can compare to Barry Sanders,
right?
And that's eye test, stats, credentials, everything. There's just not many people.
Yeah, I understand what you're coming from with that.
Now, here's a question I have for y'all, since we're past this 2K shit. Do you think running backs have a stigma of being a loser? Like when people look back at their career, like more so than quarterbacks and receivers, because not many people talk about LaDainian Tomlinson, and that man was a killer. But when they start talking about the greatest running backs of all time, and they mention people without rings, the only person they really mention is Barry Sanders.
No, I think nobody talks about running backs as much anymore because of the way the game is played now.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's not necessarily a
no, but I mean, even when you start comparing, when you start saying like, "Oh, who's your top 5 all time?" LaDainian Tomlinson was known for being the dude who got to the big game and fucking flubbed it.
Yeah, so I don't see them as a loser, because when you look at a running backs, a lot of people say this, but it's not necessarily true as far as running backs actually carrying teams. It's like that's never was the case. The running back position is basically a all-purpose, all-skill position type. Even when they didn't catch out the backfield, it was still like you get the ball and you had to break tackles, spin move, jukes. You have to learn how to stiff arm truck people. So it was still a more of a skill base. That's why we still
it's not that I agree with that stigma. It's just I think certain people look at it that way. Like I think certain people look at a Adrian Peterson and say, yeah, but they look at LT and say, yeah, but. And
I think they do because of, like I said, it's because of the way they look at running backs now. I mean, 5-10 years ago, when we even go back 15 years ago, they didn't look at them like that. It's just the way the talking heads now just look at running backs different. So when they do look at a LaDainian Tomlinson or they look at a Clinton Portis or something like that, they don't look at
guarantee you Ezekiel Elliott will have that same stigma if he doesn't want to ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He will. Because that's the way they look at running backs now. Like, you got to think about it. They look at running backs now like how they look at Christian McCaffrey and how they look at Alvin Kamara and stuff like that.
Like nobody talks about the fact that Randy Moss doesn't have a ring. They don't give a fuck.
No.
Nobody talks about the fact that T.O. doesn't have a ring. They don't care.
Because it's like with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry brought it back to where it used to be, where how running backs used to be. And how many other Derrick Henrys you got in the league now? It's like he's not going to be like the guy to lean on when it comes to running backs. Now,
right?
If you look at back in 98, 2003, or anywhere around that era, I mean, he would fit right in because the game was designed for that type of play.
No, but see, Young Noble, here's the thing, though. So when you think about it, the running backs that I named, there was a reason I named all those guys. Because when you say AP torched the Bears, the running backs that you think of when you talk about the greatest of all time all had a game like that, right? Where it's like, holy shit, he's just putting this team. Like, he did it to the Seahawks, too, right? And then Emmett, when he hurt his shoulder against the Giants and still gashed them. Barry Sanders pretty much beating the Cowboys by himself. Every running back kind of has that game like that where they used to be okay, put this team on your back. You're going to run the ball close to 30 times. Or fucking Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell's another one that did it. And he'll never get the respect he deserves because, I mean, his teams weren't really complete and utter garbage, but his quarterbacks were.
Man, bro, his teams are garbage, bro.
His teams weren't garbage. His quarterbacks always were, though. And his offensive lines weren't really that good either. Defense was always good. They were good enough to make the playoffs a couple times. But he always had to carry the team on his back. And Ricky Williams is another one that will never get the respect. How many times he carried the team?
Ricky really got into two bad situations, bro.
Ravens Nation, are you serious right
now? Let's keep talking. I think Ricky Williams just got in a bad situation because he went to the Saints after they, Mike Ditka did that terrible trade, and he had nobody there. Then he ended up going to the Dolphins. He was all right with the Dolphins, but it just wasn't the same. Then he wanted to.
The issue with him was that it wasn't even him. It was the fact they could never find a quarterback to throw the ball worth of shit.
It's not even a quarterback. The team, every team he went to was just not a good fit for him.
But I'm saying the Dolphins, when Ricky Williams was on the Dolphins and they had him and Chris Chambers, they had a hell of a defense. All they needed was a quarterback, and by the time they got one, Chad Pennington was fucking washed.
Their offensive line didn't help him matters either because he didn't really run the ball like Ricky Williams could run the ball.
And they ran him into the ground.
Yeah, he had his moments, but he didn't have he was never able to live up to his potential. He just never had a supporting cast.
Frank's better than Moon. Frank who? Frank. Who's he talking about?
I don't
Young know. Noble. Frank who?
Anyway, I just think that at the end of the day, he also went to what's his name?
Who showed up?
Put him in the game.
Yeah, I see. Put him in the game. What's going on with you? Put him.
Hey, what's up, guy?
Ricky Williams played for who else? The Ravens. And by then, it was almost.
That was interesting, but I mean, I'm looking more at the waste that he was during the Dolphins years because they ran him into the ground,
right?
And he never got rewarded for it because they had no quarterback. Literally, that's all they were missing. They had targets. They had a damn good defense. They had Ricky Williams.
I think I have a dynasty running on NFL 2K5 with the Dolphins.
Larry Johnson's another case. Shorter time span.
They had David Boston and all that too.
Yeah, Larry Johnson's another example. Larry Johnson ran the ball almost 400 times. Then another season almost 400 times. Ran him into the ground.
Yeah.
And then he spent his final year with the Redskins. Ew.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, I remember when y'all picked a Trump candidate. That was terrible.
That was Spurrier.
That was a terrible move because he was the backup for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And he was behind Marshall Faulk, and they thought he was going to be the guy because he actually played pretty good when he was spelling out for
and we had a legit running back in Steven Davis, but Steve Spurrier didn't care about two things: running the ball or protecting the quarterback.
Bro, I'm looking at this Dolphins team now. They got Sammy Knight, Patrick Surtain. They had Sam Madison, Zach Thomas, Junior Seau, Jason Taylor. I mean, holy shit, this team was stacked. And then you look at the quarterback. It's fucking AJ Feely.
Yeah, it was AJ Feely.
And Jay Fielder's his backup. I mean, holy shit, bro.
Ever since Marino left, they never got a good quarterback behind them.
Other than a washed Chad Pennington.
They never had a good
Tannehill who got hurt.
They never had a good quarterback since Marino left.
Well, I mean, Tannehill was okay. He got hurt a lot, though.
They never had a good quarterback. But you know what? They might be able to turn it around. I mean, they still talking about getting Tua, or Cam Newton.
I mean, at least now they have a coach that they can depend on. He seems like he's actually into winning, even though they were technically supposed to tank last year.
And wait a minute, didn't Blaine Gabbert just get signed?
He signed to the Buccaneers, which I found hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
So he's gonna be backing up. No, he never did. That was the other.
He backed up. He lost his job on the Jaguars, and then he went to the San Francisco 49ers, and he started a couple games. That was back when they just had complete shit.
It's funny how
they
can find jobs, but Cam Newton and a Jameis.
No, that wouldn't have been a good fit because somebody else said that about Cam Newton couldn't get the job with the Buccaneers. There's
but
no way
that's why it's apples and oranges to me.
Yeah, it would have been no way that he would have been backing up.
Oh no, I'm not talking about like him getting a job with the Buccaneers. I mean just the fact that Blaine Gabbert is garbage, but yet he's worthy enough to, or in some people's eyes, to just back up Tom Brady. Like
because we got to think
like
about
Tom Brady isn't a one hit away from being knocked out of a game, a la Drew Bledsoe.
But I think we have to consider what exactly because I think the issue is that what exactly are their agents saying when they go in these meetings? Because I think they're not willing to accept a backup.
And my client is black.
No, I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're gonna accept a backup role, and that's kind of their undoing right now.
Well,
people thought Carmelo got blackballed. I'm like, he didn't get blackballed.
They're not backup quarterbacks. Winston.
Yeah, but where are they gonna start though?
Shoot, you got Miami. Yeah,
you're not gonna start Miami.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
They're primed to go get Tua, so they're not gonna get one of those guys.
Well, they can groom Tua with one of them.
They don't want. They're gonna start Tua. This is their rebuilding stage, and they're gonna start Tua because they have to validate drafting him that high by starting him right away. That's the type of league that we're in today.
So if they go after Tua, how are they gonna protect him?
They have the line. The line isn't that bad. And they can retool it in the draft. All right, Pooh asked the question, do I consider play style when I talk about running backs? I mean, that's preference. I don't think there's much of a difference between a Derrick Henry and a Barry Sanders or a Saquon Barkley as long as you get the job done. I don't really care whether you're a bruiser or an elusive back. It doesn't matter to me. For a lot of the time, people bash LaShawn McCoy and said that shit's not going to work except for 1 year, and then he kept doing it. He kept being successful. So
I think Barry had to be East-West because the line couldn't hold up. If he had, we have always said this. If Barry had Emmitt Smith's line, we wouldn't be talking about any other running back but Barry.
And that's the thing. As much as I don't like delving into hypotheticals, there's certain things that you can kind of see for certain. Like, okay, let's use this example. Mm-hmm. Let's say Michael Jordan never got put into the triangle offense.
Well, we had that with the Wizards. I mean, not the triangle, but no. He started out not in the triangle.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So he was having those huge scoring nights, right? With against the Pistons, no team could stop him, right? But he was allowed to take every shot he wanted to. Just imagine if it was 15 years or however long he played. Just imagine if it was 15 years though. He would have probably had the scoring record all time over Kareem. But the thing is, it's like, I think it was more beneficial for him to have the triangle offense. So with Barry, it's like, yeah, Barry could have kept playing a couple more years. He would have the record. Mm-hmm. But if he played on the Cowboys,
I already said it. If they switch roles and Barry Sanders had Dallas O-line, Barry would have ran over 20,000 yards.
Yeah, because you see how many runs Emmett would have where he didn't really have to move left or right. He just run straight. He'll find his hole, run straight through. The only people he had to juke was like the DBs.
The other issue was, though, is Barry was one of those dudes who it seemed like he was a bit too instinctual for his own good. So if he did play behind the Cowboys line, I question long term how it would have been because he's so reactionary as opposed to, oh, you run there, it'll be open.
I still think we'd have got 20,000 though.
Case in point, I have an example of an instinctual player that had to adapt to the running style. When the Redskins traded for Clinton Portis and Joe Gibbs was the coach, and they had a play called the counter trade. You're supposed to follow your blockers.
Yeah.
First play from scrimmage, Clinton Portis as a Redskin, touchdown because he went by instinct. He went against the counter trade and took it off and took it to the house.
And that's the thing though. And when he played in Denver, obviously it was his own blocking scheme with Mike Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was instinctive cutbacks.
Right.
And he flourished. So with Barry, it was like, the Cowboys had huge fucking, that was hat on hat, bro. That was hat on hat, and we're making this lane, and then you have one of the greatest fullbacks of all time. Barry would have been like, no, fuck that. I don't want that damn fullback in front. He's gonna get in my way.
But here's the thing. Here's the adjustment that Clinton Portis had to with the Redskins versus with the Broncos was that Joe Gibbs used to having a bruising type running back. So Portis did what not a lot of running backs would do. He bulked up and he fell in line with that running style. So he went from very agile, speedy runner to a bruising, punishing running back, which I'm like, how many running backs can you say have changed their style to finesse to a physical running back?
Right.
So in some way, I give Clinton Portis all the credit in the world for making that change. So
this dude Ravens Nation is killing me right now.
Oh boy.
What else y'all got? Because I don't have much else.
Put them in the game.
Rodgers, come on.
What? Favre Rodgers.
Rodgers got the better numbers, but when you really look at him, it's almost a 1-to-1.
I didn't like Favre's decision making.
I got Rodgers as the better leader.
Ooh, no. I definitely got Favre as a better leader. Rodgers.
I think in the end of the day, that's a personal preference because I like a cool and calm person at quarterback.
Rodgers low-key don't too much care for his teammates, honestly.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's an asshole.
He really don't. Rodgers low-key do not care.
Favre, you want to run through the fucking wall for him.
Yeah,
stop giving Barry. How is it an excuse?
We're still on Barry. Jesus.
Because it's like he wants to be wrong and strong, bro.
I can't repeat the point over and over again. If he
Rodgers makes less mistakes, yeah, he does. That's why that's why I'm taking Rodgers. Rodgers is mostly a single-digit interceptions guy every year.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said his numbers are better, but when you really look at it as far as the player, they're almost 1-to-1.
All right, now we do have a good question coming from Put Him in the Game. He says, do y'all think Terrell Davis would have did as well on another team?
Depends on what team.
No. Terrell Davis is good, but he really benefit from his zone blocking.
Yeah, I think you look at all the other Denver running backs that have gone to different teams after being on the Broncos. Even better yet, just the fact that Mike Shanahan wound up coaching another team and brought his running style to that team, being the Redskins, and you see how the running game performed very well.
I mean, hell, he made Tatum Bell a fucking 1,000-yard.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not getting nothing away from Terrell Davis, but I think he really benefited from the zone blocking scheme.
But I think Elway benefited more from him.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
With his loser ass.
I mean,
now you want to talk about somebody overrated?
I didn't think Elway was a part of the question.
Because Ravens Nation, you want to talk about somebody that gets excuses. Yeah. I'll tell you somebody gets John fucking Elway. I've never seen somebody lose as ugly as him and get as much hype. Like it's
the last
two
Super Bowls that they won because they had a run
on the back of Terrell Davis. Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Terrell Davis is a really good running back, but it's really hard to say because he only played on one team, and we see how he benefited from his own blocking. I also watched him play at Georgia, but, Georgia back then just had, it was running back you at Georgia at that point.
Pulex.
Elway played.
He
played. Wait, hold on.
And he got blown out in 3 of them. Ugly too. What Ravens Nation, bro? You see the excuses you make,
and
Super Bowls.
And the one he had to really be pissed off at the most, the one he lost to a black quarterback. He had to definitely goddamn lost it,
bro.
Y'all wildin', man. Y'all tripping at this point.
Those out to a 14-zip lead and never scored again.
I think it was
that game in
if we're talking about the game against the Redskins, it was 10. They scored 10 in the
10 or 50, 10 on that.
They scored 10. They scored 10 in the first quarter and never scored again.
That was it. Never scored again.
Yeah.
So stop this John Elway. He played in 5 Super Bowls. Shit, I don't want to hear about that. Anyway, most slept on quarterback in history.
Oh God.
I don't think
Jeff George.
Ew.
Oh, don't do that.
No, he's a more overrated quarterback. Overrated.
Don't do that.
Man, the man only.
That man lost his job to Tony Banks.
Jeff George is one of the only quarterbacks I know that got 4 different 1,000 receivers.
Wait. Okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna address it.
Let's say Mark
Can I be honest?
4 1,000 receivers in one season.
Can I be honest for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan.
No, not in history.
In history?
No, not slept on.
VF. This man puts up.
You say that why doesn't Matt Ryan get more respect?
No,
right?
And then I make it. Is the Bill disrespected. Yeah,
well, that's being slept on.
That's slept on.
I guess it's two different. Those are two different.
No,
those are two different.
Get at the source, you'll see.
Same thing.
No, I guess it's two different things.
I mean, slept on,
disrespected.
Because being disrespected, you're being
left out.
The thing about it is when you're getting slept on, that means nobody's talking about you. But
exactly, that's mad disrespectful.
They still talk about Matt Ryan. Regardless.
Nobody talks about Matt Ryan anymore.
And
he just goes and has 5,000 yards.
We're talking about of all time now. We're not talking about the last 10 years.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when people think of all-time quarterbacks, he's slept on because they don't realize what stats he's amassed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all what I mean.
Time? Y'all gonna say all time?
Look, anybody else you throw out, they don't have Matt Ryan stats. I guarantee you.
Okay, so you're talking about better stats or most slept on?
Because that's what we're saying. We're saying when you look at the stats and you look at what they did in the career, you're saying, "Oh shit, nobody talks about him." I think Matt Ryan is definitely that guy.
I got you.
And I think somebody says Steve McNair. I agree. Jim Kelly, most overrated. You forced it. Most overrated quarterback in the history of the game to me is John Elway. I don't think it's close.
Phil Simms? Ew.
Phil Simms is the most slept on? What are you? How is Phil Simms slept on?
How is Kurt Warner slept on number 3?
Kurt Warner?
I can't take
overrated.
I can't take these takes seriously.
Overrated. Eli's not the most overrated quarterback of all time. No, it's John Elway.
Kelly.
Steve Young is slept on. That's one.
Okay, put him in the game. I don't think it was Jim Kelly that was most overrated. I think that offense was the most overrated.
Put him for me. Phillip Rivers is number 2. I think it's John Elway and then Phillip Rivers. If you're talking about most overrated of all time, I think it's those two for sure. I think Phillip Rivers, when you look at the games he played in the playoffs and him throwing, no, Jay Cutler's not overrated. Nobody even talks about him. Jay Cutler has been overrated since his first year in Chicago.
Jay Cutler had his moments.
What about Detroit's quarterback? I'm like,
Matt Stafford's definitely underappreciated.
I give him the slept-on treatment.
He's definitely underappreciated. He's definitely slept on. I mean, if we look back, Ken Stabler, nobody talks about him. He was a great quarterback. He's an amazing quarterback.
That's my version of being slept on. Like, you're great, but nobody talks about you. Disrespected is totally different because people just talk shit about you compared to being slept on.
Well, you know how people.
That's what my definition of being slept on.
Okay, sure.
But the disrespect for Matt Ryan has stopped, though. So now at this point, it's slept on.
I got you.
I think. I don't know. I mean, I think the guys we named are. Jay Cutler, though. I don't really think he's overrated.
I got Romo as the biggest choke artist.
Really?
Yes, do.
Over Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else? I'm ready to slide.
Because Romo he wanted to make more money than Rivers.
Well, that ain't got nothing to do with it.
And Romo was exposed to more clutch situations.
Oh, Joe Flacco, overrated.
Yeah, Flacco. Yeah, matter of fact, when they were drafting him, he originally was supposed to go somewhere in the second round. Ravens they made a panic decision because McNair retired on them.
I can definitely see where Joe Flacco is overrated. I can see that.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be picked in the first round.
He had that one good playoff run when they won the Super Bowl, but I mean,
outside of that, Ravens Nation.
We're talking about
what happened after Anquan Bolden left the squad?
Wait a minute. Tell him to go look up his own quarterback stats. I mean, do we really?
We're talking. That's what. But more importantly, we're talking about all time. So how can you say how is Flacco overrated? Nobody talks about him. You want to know why nobody talks about him? He
didn't only throw like 3 or 4 routes.
But he said nobody talks about him. The reason nobody talks about him, he doesn't have a fucking job right now. That's why nobody talks about him.
Flacco doesn't even talk about himself.
Joe Flacco had that one good run, and everybody put him higher than what he's supposed to be.
And you see who was on the other end of those highlights? Anquan Bolden.
And you see the all-time defense he had on the other side of the field. So we need to stop this. If you're gonna say that Eli Manning it benefited from that great defense and running game and all that bullshit, then you have to say the same about Joe Flacco.
And the thing about that is, I mean, let's be honest. Eli made plays to beat the Patriots. He made a couple of plays to beat the Patriots. So it's not like, Joe Flacco with him, it's just that one run that gives him in a higher status than what he did.
Ravens Nation, let me tell you how overrated Joe Flacco was. Joe Flacco was literally the first quarterback to get paid just based off the fact they didn't want him to leave somewhere and go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So they paid him max to keep him. He was literally the first of his kind. They paid him.
I think he's missing the point, because what we're saying is like Joe Flacco got a lot of praise for that playoff run to win this, because he went like 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
He had a streak where he didn't throw any interceptions, but again, on the other end was Anquan Bolden. And if we really want to get real, we're a bad safety play away from that stretch run ending in Denver.
Right, Denver. I mean, and a Peyton Manning interception.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the thing is basically Flacco is. He's higher than what he is because of that one season. So that is like the definition of overrated. I can understand that.
People were questioning if he was elite after winning a Super Bowl on the back of an all-time great defense, and he made a couple of plays. But if you look at this dude's career stats, he's only thrown for 4,000 yards one time.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying.
He's had double-digit interceptions every single year that he started 9 or more games, bro.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
He said, I see what y'all are saying, but you need to realize all the Ravens needed was a decent quarterback to not turn the ball over. But it's not about it's not about what they needed. You're making our point. We made the same argument about Ryan Tannehill last year. And people were like, oh, Ryan Tannehill's playing amazing. Oh my God.
He really wasn't.
He's really not. He really wasn't. He was making enough plays when it mattered. Oh, a little dink and dunk throw on third down to get to move the chain.
And look what happened when they got to Kansas City.
Right.
All of a sudden, Vrabel wants to change the play calling. And
I told everybody they're gonna have to throw the ball, because even though, and this is what me and DJ told VF, we're like, look, we know the Kansas City isn't talented, but we know that they're gonna sell out to stop the run and force this dude to throw the ball. And when he had to throw the ball, he didn't make plays. That's the same thing with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was a complete dud in Denver. The motherfuckers made the playoffs every year with Peyton Manning. They get Joe Flacco under center, and they fucking sucked. Even with an all-pro running back like not an all-pro, the Pro Bowl running back like Phil Lindsay. Come on, bro. But I'm done. I don't have anything else.
What you got, DJ?
Today I learned that Eric Dickerson's better than Barry Sanders.
What you got, DJ?
Well, I'm probably gonna, because I guess this is our outros. I am going to be jumping on MLB The Show to close out the series against the Marlins and make up for that loss I took, because I put in Will Harris, which he will not be in a setup role until whatever. I'm going to put in Daniel Hudson from here on out, set up, and then bring in Doolittle. That's all I need to do. And hit home runs with a normal swing, no power swing.
Yeah, I don't use a power swing.
Young Noble said the biggest crybaby is Odell Beckham.
Who
I do
cares?
want to stress that is absolutely false. The biggest crybaby in the NFL right now is Michael Thomas, and it's not even close.
Wow. That came out of left field.
I'm being serious. Go check.
Question
I promise you, people in the chat right now will agree with me on that. Michael Thomas is terrible on Twitter when it talks about his game.
Shit, I tell you,
terrible.
The biggest crybabies, the people on Twitter defending Trump right now.
Well, I'm not gonna go political.
I think the biggest crybaby. I think the biggest crybabies are the people who bash Beckham. To be completely honest,
I'm gonna tell you, Beckham is. He cleaned himself up because he was at one point, but I don't count AB. AB is not.
He's not in the league.
He's not in the league. But Michael Thomas is terrible.
Beckham did have a thing with the kicking net. So.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
Yeah, I mean, he cleaned it up.
He had 1 year
he's
when
the
he
only
was.
player I know that actually lost a fight to a kicking net.
Well, I can agree with that.
Kind of.
But like I said, nobody.
Wow, Ravens Nation finally said something smart. He said, "I have no proof, but I'm convinced that Patriots-Eagles Super Bowl was rigged." Finally, you said something smart. Yeah, Belichick's clown ass. Don't get me started on that. Let's close this up because I'll go all night about that bullshit. Fuck Belichick and fuck the Patriots. That's all I got.
Yeah, Michael. I know where's J Miles. I know he's probably listening somewhere.
Yeah, where he been?
He's been on the last couple episodes talking, but Michael Thomas is the worst. Yeah, he really is.
That's funny. I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
since that tweet, I guess.
I mean, let me tell you how bad he cried. He cried so bad he was mad because Tony Romo got his money for $17 million.
Yep, that was the tweet that I figured that was.
He's crying about that because he claimed that he made $17 million, but the wide receivers in the NFL can't get that kind of money, dude. CBS is paying this dude, not the NFL. Like, what are we doing? Like, CBS is paying this guy this money to talk about football. That has nothing to do with wide receivers in your bum-ass CBA agreement. That's not his problem.
Which they signed.
They just signed a new one. So guess what? You still ain't getting that money.
Still are on the slave side of the CBA.
Hey, Michael Thomas, maybe if you didn't get hollow-ass stats and never lead your team to any wins when it matters, maybe you'd get paid like that, but you can't.
I mean, he got a pretty decent deal. But he's talking about 17 million. He got a pretty decent deal. But, I mean, you're going to go at CBS because the NFL not paying you? Just listen to that. Listen to that. I work for bum ass KFC, right? But I'm going to get mad at Food Lion because Food Lion paid my homeboy more money than I made at KFC. Why the fuck I'm getting mad at Food Lion for? That means I need to go get a job at Food Lion.
Yeah, that's what
you see what I'm saying? So why Michael Thomas getting mad at CBS when you play for the NFL?
Well, first of all, he wouldn't be able to get that money because he probably
you heard his voice, right?
Able to talk.
You heard his voice.
Hey guys, I like to thank God for me catching all these catches. I'm an elite quarterback. Receiver.
That's fucking funny.
Who that? Let me stop messing with this.
Witten found out the hard way that playing football and commentating on football are two different things.
Right.
And you can't be a fake SJW. And
you know what? One thing before we do leave, because I was supposed to do my outro. One thing I do like about this coronavirus shit, all that SJW agenda bullshit is gone.
Well, it's actually turning in on itself too.
Right, and you don't see that shit no more on Twitter.
Alyssa Milano took Me Too off her bio. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Exactly, like right about now. Don't get me wrong. Some of this stuff on Twitter now is kind of outrageous because some people got too much time on their hands. But I'm glad that I see that compared to you trying to push an agenda telling me that everybody could use the same bathroom or me too this. Somebody looked at me wrong. Transgender this. Yeah. LGBT that. I get it. I'm with you on that. Fight for what you believe in. But right now, this whole thing it's really refreshing not to see it right now.
Yeah, because viruses will let you know, no, you can't use the same thing.
Right.
All I know is that, and not a lot of people want to think about this. With less activity across the whole globe, unfortunately, people are dying, but at the same time, the earth is finding its way to restore itself. I know that's bad to say, but that's
kind of
what has happened. Remember that it happened to the dinosaurs.
Who with the zinger? Oh, where were you when Lamar Jackson went 14-2 and 1 and done in the playoffs? Oof.
That's a good question.
But yeah, I'm sorry. If I put him in the game, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about the Patriots. You could say that those games were rigged. I don't give a fuck. I truly don't care. I don't care, bro. I know when the Super Bowl
as a Falcons fan, I don't even think that game was rigged.
That game was rigged.
It's one person to blame.
They celebrated on March 28th though.
It's only one. it's only one person that you can blame about the Atlanta Super Bowl.
And it was Kyle Shanahan throwing that damn game.
Right. That's what it was. And if you think I'm lying, you think he didn't do it, go look at the recent Super Bowl. He did it again.
He did.
They would have been Falcon fans instead of mourning 3/28. They would have been celebrating 3/31.
Like we don't even like we don't even give a fuck no more. It's like
Ravens Nation said Lamar Jackson didn't go 14-2. The team did. I'm sorry. If you ask the media,
no, wait a minute. No, Bills. Now it's a team thing when it doesn't fit the narrative. Now it's a team thing.
It's really convenient to me. It's like saying, well, John Elway didn't play in those 5 Super Bowls. The Broncos did.
Bills, did he not push the individual narrative when you were talking about Eric Dickerson? Did he not? Now it's a team thing, though.
But you know what? The Ravens fans ain't shit either, because his rookie year, they were calling for Joe Flacco to get back into the game.
And then they got him, and he fucking bummed it.
So
what are we talking about right now?
All right, y'all. We're going to see y'all Tuesday.
Yeah, Ravens fans got MAGA all over their hats instead of Ravens.
We'll be back on that. And I see your comment, King David. I don't think it showed up because, YouTube is still censoring that LG.
And now that they're more automated, they will be censoring a way ton of more, including in the videos. So
we see it. We see you. We're just going to put it up there so people can read it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, fuck censorship.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna read that, but we know how it is. All right, we'll see y'all Tuesday. I really appreciate the questions because Thursday is usually not a Q&A, but y'all did it.
Yeah, we tried to have a Q&A and none of y'all were here on Tuesday. Y'all forget we have an episode on Tuesday?
Right.
Oh, you know
we about to start keeping tabs on y'all motherfuckers.
As far as that comment with King David creates, yeah, I'm seeing that too.
Right.
And there've been some celebrities that have said the same thing too.
Yep.
It's just like, everybody's in the same boat until
a virus come about.
Right. Like, get away from me.
Right. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night, man. Y'all be blessed. Be safe, man. Don't be coughing on people. And if somebody cough on you, beat their ass.
Beat their ass.
I don't condone violence, but
nigga, you was just talking about shooting.
Well, hold up. You was about to call me a nigga now. You don't even want to allow me to finish.
You was just talking about shooting up people in no rush until you don't condone
violence. Because it's a video game. I'm not killing anybody in the real.
Yeah, but the difference is in the real, you can die out here.
Well, that's why I don't do it.
Getting coughed on and shit.
Y'all have a good night, man.
Nasty motherfuckers.
Later, y'all.
All right, peace out.